Hello and welcome back. I'm so glad you could join me today. We're going to be diving into a really beautiful and powerful passage from the Quran's 16th chapter, Surah An-Nahl, which actually translates to the bee. And what's amazing about it is that it gives us this timeless blueprint for how to share a message, any message really, with integrity and with heart. I mean, think about it. This is a question we all bump up against, right? Whether you're a parent trying to teach your kids something important, a leader in your community, or you're just having a coffee with a friend and a deep topic comes up. How do you communicate what you believe in a way that's, well, persuasive, but not pushy? This passage gives us a framework for exactly that.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What's so fascinating here is that before the text tells us how to invite others to a path of goodness, it first shows us a model of who we should strive to be. And that perfect model, that exemplar, is the prophet Abraham, or as he's known in the text, Ibrahim.
So this is our foundation, right here in verse 121. It establishes that Abraham isn't just some figure from history, he's an exemplar, a model to follow. And his entire identity is built on these three incredible pillars. 1, he's completely obedient to God. 2, he's actively leaning towards truth. And 3, his belief is pure, uncompromising monotheism.
You know that phrase, inclining toward truth? That's captured by a really key Arabic term, hanif. It means so much more than just believing. It means being steadfastly upright, turning away from all the noise, all the falsehoods, and focusing with your whole being on the one true God. It's about this deep internal compass that's always pointing to truth, totally free from what the Quran calls shirk, which is associating partners with God.
So this amazing portrait of Abraham is painted across several verses. His character is just overflowing with gratitude for God's blessings. And it's because of his obedience and his steadfastness, that hanif quality, that he was chosen and guided. The text also makes a really important point to say that this devotion wasn't just for a reward in the hereafter, he was rewarded with goodness in this world too. I mean, get this, he was even given the incredible title of Khalil, which means an intimate friend of God. But the key point the text really hammers home is that this special status, this closeness, wasn't some accident of birth. It was an honor he earned through his unwavering obedience and his absolute trust. His spiritual leadership was based purely on his moral character.
So here's the crucial pivot. After establishing this ideal model of a believer, this is who to be, the text transitions. It gives us a direct, practical command on how to carry this message forward. It lays out a whole methodology for inviting others to this path.
And verse 125 is really the heart of it all. It rests on 3 pillars. First, you invite with hikmah, or wisdom, which means understanding your audience, the context, the right time and place. Second, with ma'idah hasana, which is just beautiful. It means good, heartfelt instruction, advice that really touches the soul. And finally, if a debate or argument is necessary, you do it in the best way possible, with kindness, with respect, with grace. But you've got to notice how the verse ends. This is so important. It pairs this whole method of communication with a huge dose of humility. The message is basically, look, your job is to invite with wisdom and kindness. That's it. The outcome, who accepts the message and who doesn't, that rests entirely with God, because only He truly knows what's in a person's heart. And this leads us perfectly to our next point, which builds on that very idea. The text draws a really clear line in the sand, defining the limits of a messenger's role. It's all about the massive difference between inviting someone and trying to force them.
And here it is. This is the non-negotiable principle we get from the next verse. There is absolutely no compulsion in faith. For belief to have any meaning, any moral worth at all, it has to come from a place of genuine voluntary conviction. You can't force someone to truly believe something. You can only force them to say they do, and that's worthless.
So the distinction couldn't be clearer, right? The prophet's role, and by extension our role, is to convey the message, to invite with those beautiful methods we just talked about, and to argue with kindness. It is explicitly not the job to force belief, to compel conviction, or to try and control the final outcome. The mission is delivery, not enforcement. And then the text adds this subtle but really important warning. It points out that even if people have immense wealth and all the blessings of this world, that alone doesn't create faith. Actually, without a moral compass, people might just feel entitled to it all and remain completely ungrateful. Blessings are a test, not a guarantee of guidance.
And all of this brings us to the final, powerful conclusion of the passage. After laying out the model to follow, the method to use, and the limits to respect, it ends with this beautiful and incredibly reassuring promise.
The final verse says that God is with two specific groups of people. First, the muttaqun. These are the folks who are God-conscious, who live with this constant awareness of God in everything they do. That's the internal state. And second, the muhsinin, the doers of good, the people who strive for excellence in their actions. That's the external practice. It's this perfect marriage of inner piety and outer goodness.
So the whole passage lands on this one powerful verse. Indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him and those who are doers of good. This is the ultimate comfort, the ultimate goal. After all the discussion of what to believe and how to share it, the message comes down to your lived character. The reward for a life of faith and good works is the most precious thing imaginable, the promise of divine companionship. So we end right where we started, but hopefully with a whole new lens. The text gave us a model in Abraham and a method in that beautiful verse 125. So the final question it leaves us with is a personal one. In your own life, in your own world, in your conversations, and in your community, what does doing good with wisdom actually look like for you? Thank you so much for joining me today.